D&D is a lovely hobby to get into, and it is a lot of fun to create your own worlds. This is Session 0, a series in which we will talk about making your own worlds in your own way and explore a lot of different kind of possibilities. World building is its own exercise and can be done as big or small as you want. So me and my friends decided to do a big exercise together. We will all design a continent with its own races, kingdoms and cultures. Each of them has full freedom to adjust their worlds within the boundaries that we have set for ourselves. In the end, the continents will come together as one united world again, and we will have a campaign setting that all of our players are invested in, since they have been part in building it. But before we start, I would please like to notify anyone that this isn't in any kind of means the ultimate way to do this. It is simply a fun exercise for us, and that is its final goal as well. Take any kind of inspiration from these videos that you can and ignore whatever it is that does not apply to you. We are trying to do something extremely detailed here, and that might not be to everyone's flavor. With that out of the way, let's start. So, how are we going to start? Well, since we are all poor people, I want to use as much free tools as we can get, with the exception of the D&D material that is provided by the Wizards of the Coast, of course. So, as to start, I wanted to have a world that we can begin our story in. In our world, we did this by going to Asgard, link found in the description below. To generate a world, Asgard is an absolute great tool to utilize because on the surface it looks pretty basic with something that just generates a map, but it generates so much more. State borders, cultural developments, climate areas, you name it. I used Asgard to generate 5 different worlds, after which me and my friends selected our favorite world. After that, we divided the area into 5 separate continents, which would be assigned to a player. Oh, and yeah, you see that black spot over there? That is an area we actually also assigned to someone as an underwater civilization. With having their own continent and races, I made 2 more requests of my players, which might not suit to everyone's preferences. First, I made them all think of an artifact. An item that has powers strong enough to equal world-changing events. This is to add some drama to the world. This artifact is placed somewhere in their continent, and they can think of any kind of power that this artifact might have. We can also tune it down later if it is too game-breaking comparing to the other artifacts. Second, and this is most likely where I will lose most viewers, is to have all of them ban a class in their continent. Yeah, that's right, ban. A class that is not allowed to be utilized by the inhabitants of the continent in any kind or form. And to push the envelope even further, I have every one of their races ban 2 more classes separately from themselves, having only 2 subclasses allowed per race and even only 1, yes 1, per fighter class. Now, you might be asking, Bart, what in the ever-loving giggles of Belzemoth is wrong with you? Why would you limit player class selection so much? You are ruining the game, this isn't fun. Well, here's the gist. Subclasses that are not available to your race are actually available. But to be able to learn them, players will have to go to an area where they do teach what you want to be able to learn. This would mean that they would still be able to level up normally, but don't get the subclass upgrades until they have been to a location that teaches the subclass of their choice, and gives them reason to travel to certain locations. Next to that, each area having their own class and subclass restriction means that you are able to give each country, kingdom or empire its own little unique flavor. Why is a certain class banned? Either they don't have the knowledge, or there is some old pain that forbids people from using that knowledge. And yes, I do realize that would basically mean that in a classic D&D setting, practically everywhere the warlock would be banned because, ooh, evil devil deal is bad. But hey, that just gives you more reason to let them flavor certain kinds of supernatural beings. Maybe even some patrons are worshipped or seen as kind friends from a whole culture. Maybe even within that society, it is actually a taboo, but there clearly are a couple of places to which you can go for a couple of class combos. And yes, I do realize that the classes that get to choose their subclass at level 1 are quite difficult to do in this way, but what do you want from me? I'm just a person, like I said. This world building exercise might not be for everyone, but it is our world building exercise and our world. You can adjust yours in any kind of way you want. To keep everything organized, I have set up a World Anvil account to maintain all the information in, so all of us can see each other's progress and maybe discuss some stuff with each other on how different cultures might affect each other. But that's for later. So, these are the first rules which I will give all my players to build their continent with. Let's see how they choose to build and what kind of themes they want to utilize in their world building, and once we have set that up, we can see how we continue.